You conduct an 8-month investigation. And you don't even know the subject of your investigation is retiring. August 1st, the day of my retirement, she publishes this article. It blows up. And then 3 Corps JAG shows up to my unit. And my commander's like, bro, legal from Corps was just here. They had no idea that you retired.
Fuck.
They conducted an 8-month investigation and didn't know that I had a retirement packet in. I submitted a retirement packet a year before this. Before any of this kicked off, I submitted a retirement packet. They were like, he was retiring? And I was like, dude, if this is not the most Army shit ever, you conduct an 8-month investigation, you don't even know the subject of your investigation is retiring.
Bro, huge fumble.
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, that's why we exist.
Ooh, I'm sorry. When did you come back?
So, dude, when people tell me there's no way that, you know, we would have missed it at this, or there's no way the Army would have looked over something like this, or there's no way they wouldn't have caught this, or they're talking about their situation and they just think that some master up in the sky is, you know, holding it all together with super glue. I'm like, these people are morons, dog.
Yeah.
They're morons, and they just happen to exist in a very powerful construct that's been created around them. But they're just human beings. So don't get overly impressed when they drop the ball on your pay, or they can't get you food in the field, or, you know, you're living in shithole barracks because somebody just doesn't care and doesn't want to be a good leader. Like, dog, that's not crazy. that is the garbage that we have in the military oftentimes. And that's who I want to advocate for. That's who I have been advocating for. These dudes who, you know what? You raised your right hand to serve your country, and you should be afforded the best we can give you. I'm not talking about the Taj Mahal, dude. I'm not talking about anything. 4 brick walls and a cot is all you're afforded. That's good. But
and no black mold.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have black mold crawling over every inch of the room and in your ducts and poisoning you.
Sam Shoemate, welcome Security Halt Podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Man, it is a pleasure to have you. Man, we go way back, dude. We're look at us. 2 boys from Windsor, Colorado.
Who'd have thought?
Certainly not me. Holy shit, man. Our paths. Oh man, God.
Yeah, it's an interesting story, man.
It is, man. Let's explore that, shall we? The year. 1999. Windsor High School.
Okay. We're going way back. Let's do it. Dude,
oh man.
The first time I saw you after high school and we had joined, you know, you were coming out of National Guard. I was coming back onto active duty. We were both coming onto active duty. I saw you at the hotel, at the chow line, you know, the big buffet they had there in MEPS.
Yeah.
And I just heard Shoemate. And I was like, the fuck? That was a trip.
Oh man, dude. And then the beautiful thing, our careers like intertwined again. Then we found ourselves at 7th Group.
2011.
Bro.
Same thing.
Yeah. Same thing.
I'm literally lifting. I remember I was at the cable fly machine and I'm getting my workout in and I hear Shoemate.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. There's Denny, Green Beret. Dude.
Yeah. And then years later again, yo, you're a warrant officer. And then just like a few years after that, I'm a warrant officer too.
Yeah, man. What a ride.
Dude, it's been awesome. It's been great seeing you in all aspects of your life. And then Terminal CWO, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit. The weird thing about our veteran space, our advocacy space, is the way that we rally around supporting each other. And I had no idea of the impact these pages would have on our military culture. I mean, you were one of the first pages that I saw, and before I even knew who it was, I was like, oh fuck, dude, like U.S. Army, what the fuck moments were doing their things. There's what the fuck was his name? The Batman dude.
Oh, Trade-Off Batman.
Trade-Off Batman.
Army Batman, yeah.
Yeah. And then Terminal CWO and the shit you guys were posting, calling people out, putting real issues out there. I was like, wow, like there are people that are actually trying to hold people accountable. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
for
on
sure.
them.
I remember when I told you, when I reached out to you because you had messaged me about, it was one of the drill sergeants at Benning, and this had a completely effed up investigation. In fact, when the commanding general reached out about it, he admitted that it was an effed up investigation, but they had to redo everything. And I remember, you know, I knew who you were. Obviously, you didn't know who I was because I was anonymous at the time. And I was like, Denny, it's me, Sam. What?
What?
Yeah.
You're making memes and advocacy?
Yeah, man.
that was a funny period, man, because that was the first time that I saw like, oh shit, like it can be a force for good. Not only can I, you know, do my job here and help uphold the fucking standards and do what a good leader's supposed to do, but I can have an impact through something as simple as doing fucking memes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Count me in. I'm in this bitch.
Dude, I was so upset because there was no way to cut through what was happening in the military. And I still believe it is the greatest force for good. All these pages that have exploded since and are just calling stuff out. There was no way to cut through what was happening because my initial few stories were based on like senior division level PAOs lying to spouses on social media, covering up for command. I mean, going out of their way to be mocking. They were mocking and condescending and basically talking down to these these groups that were on social media. And I knew better. I not only did I have evidence, but I just know how the military works. And I was like, dude, this is disgusting, man. You got an 05 here who is just being an absolute dick and lying about the conditions and the stuff that's taking place with these people's husbands. Yep. They know he's lying and they can't do anything about it because he owns the conversation. And so it was like, dude, I'm going to own this conversation. Yep. Not yours anymore, bud. So, dude. Yeah.
Some of those early days of exposing people, like, and we can edit this out. I don't know if do you remember, old Mike, the PAO for fucking was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like that guy was a fucking weasel. That dude. Wow.
Didn't you run into him at
MIC? Yeah. What a weird fucking human being. Like I've met people that, you know, pretty famous, little celebrities, that down to earth people, great people. Like this dude, not a celebrity, but he held himself in that same stature. Like when you approached him, he felt like the grossest lizard person you could ever imagine. And it was just like, and had no idea that who I was. Cause you know, at the time I was helping with the meme support on Terminal CWO, but I wasn't like out there in the world saying anything, like putting my face out there.
Sure. Right.
I did the 𝐂𝐓 shit. And, the dude was so fucking weird about everything that he's doing with Vet TV, like putting like, and I was out there for security halt and he's like, you know, I could take your podcast and make it amazing so easily. And it was almost like that the Trump meme where it's like, I take whatever you're doing, I'll just make it better. It's like, dude, like what the fuck, man? Like I'm like trying to get started as a podcaster and you're like looking at my page, looking at what I'm doing. It's like, oh yeah, like I could network with so many people, get so many people on your show. And I'm like that's kind of weird, dude. Like I'm not trying to talk you up or have sex with you. But this dude was just all about him and how great he was and everything that he could do. And I was just like, fuck, dude. Like, A, you're a fucking boner. B, like fucking Sam was right about everything. And it's like seeing people like that get such like status in the military and they try to use it on the outside.
Yeah.
And that dude's bounced around from fucking so many different companies. So he worked for Vet TV, he worked for Blizzard at a time. Like, yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
Dude, the amount of stuff that people told me that there is no way I would ever post in a million years, unless he came after me personally. And then if he wanted to resume that fight. But the things that people told me, I couldn't even begin to tell you on here. I wouldn't put it out. Going all the way back to days as a first sergeant in Korea and everything else. You know, people, I obviously made a lot of enemies. And I wasn't the only one on Twitter. I will hand some of that off to PB. He helped make plenty of friends on Twitter with some of his stuff, but
just set that motherfucker on fire and then let Sam deal with it.
Dude, I had to answer for the post the Army Times posted for that one, and they were like, "Oh, well, you think that, you know, the COVID-19 vaccine kills children?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, that was a joke, and now it's actually not a joke." But then, second of all, I didn't post that, and like I'm answering for it. He was just on his troll kick, just having fun, and I was I wasn't going to stop him, but yeah, there was plenty of he had fun with folks, and but I made lots of friends, not friends, doing that stuff over there, because back then Mill Twitter was just a cesspool of leftist garbage,
bro,
and they were coming after me hard, obviously, and I honestly, I didn't care about that so much as I had to step back in the middle of all that. And I said, what am I doing? Like, I am focused on righting the ship and helping service members. And this is not that. Yeah. I got trapped in this cycle of fighting and in this nonsense back and forth. And I said, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to fight with you weirdos.
I watched that happen in real time, man. Like I was going through my own mental health shit, and then realizing that, fuck, this ain't healthy for me.
No,
because you look at the inbox. If you at any moment in time, like you're admin for or helping out with Terminal CWO, that inbox is just like, fuck, man. Like,
dude,
I need a break. I'm not gonna make it.
Dude, that's why I reached out to you and PB and other folks, because I was, even after a year of doing that work, before stuff really kicked off, I was just like, I can't keep doing this, man. Like the mental weight of reading these posts, thousands of messages over the years from people that are just like, this is happening and this is happening. I'm like,
all hours,
fuck, man.
All fucking hours, dude. And then if it's not a cry for help, it was a fuck you, you piece of shit. You post a meme thinking it's gonna be funny, like, you're a fucking horrible human being. I hope you die of fucking AIDS and fuck your
all
mother.
Things too. Like, I remember we called it Tunagate, the Tunagate conspiracy for the longest time, because just a stupid meme I posted about women stinking in the field. Yes. I don't even remember what it was. It was so dumb, but holy shit, dude, that lit up the pages, and people were like, "Yeah, this guy's an asshole because he's."
Yeah.
Tunagate. Good times.
Those were fun days.
Oh, they were fun days. And that was like, you know, you're trying to mix in and out of having fun and goofing off the boys and posting dark humor and whatever else, and then do serious stuff.
Yeah.
And you blur the lines sometimes too much. And all of it made me really tired. And then obviously the events of the last year made me really tired,
bro. Dude, the thing that always stuck out to me is, like, you have real journalistic bones about you. You have a real passion for getting down to the stories, figuring shit out, and putting the truth out there. And it was like, how do you get rid of the bullshit? How do you keep the positivity, and how do you just allow Sam to cultivate that journalistic drive? How do we get out of this bullshit? How do we allow Sam to thrive in what he's really good at, which is getting to the bottom of a fucking story? And I think it goes perfectly to what you did in the military. I think that that's always been a part of who you are. Like, it's no nonsense, no bullshit. I want to dive into this, but you're right, man. So much of your energy was sapped having to deal with whether it's a bullshit fucking story, something gets blown out, way out of proportion, then you don't have any time to fall in love with the craft. Yeah. And then they come after you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck was that like? I was there for some of it,
Well,
trying to figure out how we can help, but there's nothing like the lived experience of you explaining that.
Yeah, this is the thing. I had decided not to try to hide my identity long before they found out who I was. I remember back when we were trying to do an app and get Terminal X going, and iOS required that you either have your name attached to it or you had your company attached to it. So I didn't even create an LLC. I didn't want to go through all the effort of everything. I just sent off for a standard EIN, business name, whatever, terminal CWO, and I put my name out there. I could have easily, I thought about it and I was like, how do I try to cover myself? How do I do this? And at that point I said, I don't care. This was long before I was doxxed or anything else. So it had been sitting out in the domain. And I joked about this on podcasts all the time. I would always say, like, it's really not hard to figure out who I am. Like, it's really not hard. So when it did happen and Mill Twitter came after me and they were having these investigations, mind you, one of the individuals who was part of that was my former commander, who literally sent PII. He sent my OERs and private correspondence to this group. And I'm like, dude, I thought about filing a complaint against him. I was like, no, I don't care. I honestly don't care. You're a fag, whatever. But yeah, so they were so proud of themselves. They're like, we got him. We got Terminal CWO. And I was like, you guys are gay, dude. Like, I've been out there for so long.
Dude, I have to highlight when they got the wrong Sam Shoemate for a while.
Dude, they went after this major because I was renting the house from him, and we just clowned him for it. We started writing posts about, like, poor Major Jose. Oh, that was perfect, bro, because you were Jefe and he was Jose, and they're like, we got him, guys. We got him, bitch.
We got him.
The ringleader. He's what was he? He was an IO or something. He was an information officer or something. Anyways,
so close.
Yeah, so they had just had it, and we started clowning on him for it. We were like, poor Jose, like, what's he gonna do? And then Mike was jumping in comments, and he was like, well, he dug his own grave. And I was like, God, this guy's so dumb. But so through the course of that, there was like a 7 or 8 month investigation that they did. And I just, I didn't do anything. The investigating officer came in, and I said, talk through my lawyer. And he said, okay, sign the paperwork. Boom. I didn't talk to anybody else after that. So I went and sat down with my commander for my GOMAR reading. This was right before I was set to retire. So keep in mind, I had started terminal leave in May of 2023. Excuse me. And he calls me in, Commander, super cool dude. Former, he was a Mustang, former enlisted dude. Just dude was cool as shit. In fact, we still talk to this day. Every once in a while, he'll reach out and he'll be like, dude, that was good shit, man. Like, send me something. And he's like, dude, you're killing it. Yeah. But he reads my GOMAR to me from the commanding general of 3 Corps. And it was the same thing. They couldn't establish that it was me, but a preponderance of evidence that I was associated with the account or whatever. And so, conduct unbecoming an officer and blah, blah, blah. And so I said, okay. And then I had somebody that got me the investigation, because I said, I want to know who this Jose guy is. I still didn't know who Major Jose was. I didn't know. I was like, who is this guy?
Whose life did I ruin?
And so I asked around, and somebody got me the unredacted investigation, the full 15-6, unredacted, all the evidence. Wow. And I was like, dude. This had all of the receipts of the deputy commanding general of TRADOC having basically orchestrated this illegal investigation before it became an official investigation. So let me clarify this. I am not under TRADOC. TRADOC has no command authority over me whatsoever. and she was reaching out on with an official email, orchestrating, different officers doing this, saying she was going to reach out to her friend at, the chief of CID, the chief of CI. They're trying to label me as an insider threat. They were trying to have my ass thrown in jail for being a foreign intelligence threat, dude. They were going for blood. And so she's doing all this stuff in the background, and somebody, I don't know who for sure, but I have a good guess, somebody, the guy who submitted the complaint in the first place, took all of those screenshots and that evidence and submitted it to IG along with complaint. You submitted criminal actions by the Deputy Commanding General of TRADOC along with your complaint against me. Wow. You guys are some freaking masters at your craft. And so I see this and I'm looking at this in real time and I was like, get it over to Breitbart. They publish this. Christina Wong writes this article up August 1st, the day of my retirement. She publishes this article. It blows up. And then 3 Corps JAG shows up to my unit. And my commander's like, bro, legal from Corps was just here. They had no idea that you retired.
Fuck.
They conducted an 8-month investigation and didn't know that I had a retirement packet in. And so you had people that were like, oh, he got kicked out of the Army. The Army kicked him out and, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, they didn't. I submitted a retirement packet a year before this. Before any of this kicked off, I submitted a retirement packet. It was approved. I turned in my declination of rank statement because I had been selected for CW3. You can't retire if you're getting promoted. So I had to decline the rank. Went through the whole process. Nobody stopped me. And it was, dude, keep in mind, when I'm going through the retirement process and I'm going through, out processing and all that, I'm just waiting. Like, waiting for that phone call, like, oh, you've been locked down. You're not going anywhere. And nothing happened. So I just kind of go through the system, fade to black. And so when that article comes out, they were floored. They were like, he was retiring. And I was like, dude, if this is not the most Army shit ever, you conduct an 8-month investigation and you don't even know the subject of your investigation is retiring.
Bro, huge fumble.
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, that's why we exist.
Ooh, I'm sorry. When did you come back?
So, dude, when people tell me there's no way that we would have missed it at this, or there's no way the Army would have looked over something like this, or there's no way they wouldn't have caught this, or they're talking about their situation and they just think that some master up in the sky is holding it all together with super glue. I'm like, these people are morons, dog.
Yeah,
they're morons, and they just happen to exist in a very powerful construct that's been created around them. But they're just human beings. So don't get overly impressed when they drop the ball on your pay, or they can't get you food in the field, or, you're living in shithole barracks because somebody just doesn't care and doesn't want to be a good leader. Yeah. Like, dog, that's not crazy. That is the garbage that we have in the military oftentimes. And that's who I want to advocate for. That's who I have been advocating for. These dudes who, you know what? You raised your right hand to serve your country, and you should be afforded the best we can give you. I'm not talking about the Taj Mahal, dude. I'm not talking about anything. 4 brick walls and a cot is all you're afforded. That's good. But
and no black mold.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't have black mold crawling over every inch of the room and in your ducts and poisoning you. Like,
dude,
looks like the TVs just went off behind me. That's my stuff.
He's actually in a secret bunker in Syria. Off camera. He's a fucking sleeper cell.
Got him.
Dude, so fucking true, man. We as young service members, we tend to think like, oh my God, these people are just omnipotent, all powerful, all knowing. You get older, you become mid-level managers, and you realize like, oh, you didn't pay that fucking contract out. Oh, you didn't set this up. Oh, you're just really incompetent. Oh shit. The reason things worked smoothly was the guy before you was smart, actually cared, was passionate. You're just a piece of shit. And that's why Jimmy can't eat today. Got it.
That's it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
Got it. No, it's so bizarre that we're now having to offload more of the responsibility in whistleblowing to guys that are no longer in service, or it's in some cases civilians that never served. That's the thing that blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's some powerful advocates out there that never served, and it can be as simple as food allocation, or as complex as the TBI impact of TBI and traumatic brain injury blast wave exposure that we're dealing with now. It's not just small issues. It's not just big issues. It's all of it, man. And it blows my mind that we can't have leadership that says, you know what, the buck stops here. We're going to fucking take care of our dudes. And that's why terminal CWO is still fucking needed. That's why the mission needs to continue and evolve. And how do you see the mission evolving now, man?
The mission is evolving literally with where I'm working right now. And, you know, I work for an organization called Our Country, Our Choice. And I won't even begin to tell you that it's the most stable environment. We're working through some things, but I newly came on here, and the reason why I originally told my boss, no, I wasn't interested. I was doing some other stuff. I was involved with Remnant Ministries with Doc
Yes.
Chambers, you know.
Yeah. Shout out to Doc.
Yes, Doc. Big things in his future, by the way. I'll tell you off camera. But so you know, I was involved with doing some pretty heavy stuff there, counter human trafficking, child rescue, different avenues involving that. And I did not want to come over here. And the reason I decided to was because my boss, he gave me a pitch on what his goal was, but basically he is doing and wants to do what I had dreamed of before. And what I always wanted to do was turn everybody into whistleblowers. I wanted to teach everybody how to be a terminal CWO or do their own thing. Yep. How do you report honestly and effectively so the information is received? How do you build your base? How do you do, you know, all these different things to be effective so that you can be somebody in the fight who is helping service members, shining a light on corruption in your neck of the woods. And that's what we're doing here. So we're establishing, you know, several different platforms where our goal is to build this out across the country and turn everybody into citizen journalists and start reporting on what's going on in their town. Start talking about ethical violations and criminal conduct and everything else. Talk about you know, your local sports too. Talk about everything. Talk about the pothole at the end of your road that hasn't been fixed in 2 years. But start focusing on your local town where things are happening, and stop focusing on DC. DC is gone. Okay. Yeah. We can't control DC. There are hundreds of billions of dollars cycling in and out of there. We have no control of it, but you can control where you live. And, you know, I know you're passionate about this and what I'm passionate about it. We're both very passionate about mental health. Yep. Both of us have experienced our own issues in different ways. And what I don't want people doing is getting bogged down in fights they can't win and getting mentally overrun and swamped because there's no hope for them. Exactly. I'm telling you, there is hope. There is hope. But I want you to focus on that 25, 50 meter target instead of constantly looking at that 300 meter target. Like, hey, let's affect what we can in our own environment. If that's just in your squad or your platoon or your company, or that's on your local town board, or that's wherever, let's focus on those things and start knocking down those targets. Okay. Because that's change we can make.
Absolutely, man. You hit it right there. Like a lot of times when we're dealing with these mental health issues, specifically with depression and anxieties, you're focused on a failure that's in your past. It's obviously a lot of it your depression lies in. And then you have this fucking focal, like this obsession with your news cycle, with everything that's going wrong in the world. And you're hyper focused on one thing. Fucking the Democrats are fucking us over, or the Republicans are bad. They're killing the gays. You're hyper focused on shit that you cannot affect and can never honestly hope to make any lasting change in that shit. And you're forgetting about all the shit that's happening in your house, in your community, in your local schools, in the town that you live in, the city you live in. You can affect that. How about you just be a good human being? Focus
Yeah.
on the small things that you can help with on both sides of the aisle. I don't give a fuck which side of the aisle you're on. Stop living in desperation and the anxiety, panic of fucking Fox or CNBC, whatever news cycle you're on, and understand that you can take a deep breath and you can just focus on what's going on in your home, in your neck of the woods, and make an impact. Help one
That's
person
it.
today.
Yeah.
Dude, there's not enough people talking about that because they want us to be fucking completely inundated with the idea that we can't control shit.
Yep. Divided beyond hope and hating each other and completely hopeless.
Yeah.
Just go inside and sit down and drink a fifth of whiskey every night, watch Netflix,
dude.
and just that's your life
in
now.
And tune out. Just keep fucking eating those chips, you piece of shit, and keep drinking, keep putting that fucking fatty fucking donut in your mouth. Keep eating that shit. Just sit there.
Isn't it crazy that during the COVID pandemic, one of the essential stores that stayed open were liquor stores?
Yep. Yep. And Big Candy lobbied to actually continue production of candy and sugary goods because America needs their sugar. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a big thing.
That's new to me too. That's crazy.
That's a thing. Like everybody has to stop working except for, hey, we got to keep the Hershey's factories going. We got to keep the sugar going. Keep it flowing. It's like,
that's
what
crazy.
The fuck, dude?
Yeah.
There's a candy lobby.
No. It's wild, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where my passion is at now, because our nation is by no means beyond recovery. And it's so I've been having this conversation a lot. We talk about, I want people to understand the difference between supporting your troops, but then hating the Pentagon for their corruption and their complicity in forever wars and, working hand in hand with the defense industry and the military industrial complex. And hey, it does not mean when you say I support my troops that you can't hate those fuckers at the top as well. Supporting your troops is a good thing. It's always a good thing. But I want you to get involved and understand, like, hey, there's a thing happening to these troops. You are being lied to as American citizens, and it's something I call shadow policy, where they'll tell you, everything is good on the surface, and they have all these recourses. They can go to their chain of command. They can go to IG. They can turn in ICE complaints. They can contact their representative. I'm like, that shit doesn't work. For maybe 5% of service members who do it, just throwing out a random number there, they might get some traction, but that does not work. And I could tell you all the reasons why all of that is broken, but that is good stuff for citizens here. And they say, oh, our service members are being taken care of. I'm telling you, they're not. They're not being taken care of. So why do we have things like, our country being overrun on the border with nothing to protect America, but we have service members over in the Middle East sitting on bases just waiting to be bullet sponges for Iran or whoever wants to shoot a rocket at us tomorrow? Why are we involved in all, it's one of these things where if you want to support your troops, if you want to truly be invested in their well-being and in the dedication and the sacrifice they've made to serve their country, then actually get involved and give a shit what is happening in the DOD and what the Pentagon is doing and the corruption. But at the same time, don't lose yourself over it. Be aware of it and have these conversations, but don't just turn off. Don't just say, that's not my problem because the DOD makes up less than 1% of the population, so I don't care. That's for somebody else to worry about. Start caring. But these are all conversations that I'm constantly trying to have. And I've stopped. That's one of the big differences, by the way. With Terminal CWO, I was focused on getting that attention out to military folks.
Yes.
It was military people. Now I'm more focused on telling citizens who either have been out long enough that they don't know how the military is now. You constantly hear, well, I got out in 2005 and this is not the military I remember. Well, no, it's not. It's constantly evolving. There's good things and there's bad things, but let's have that conversation. But then telling citizens who have no understanding of what happens in the military beyond what Netflix shows them, telling them what the reality is and dispelling a lot of this nonsense. Cause you're talking about influencers that have like in the civilian world that have an effect on in helping us. Well, there's just as many of them that are hurting us with their disinformation and misinformation and the kind of nonsense that they'll post for clicks and grabs and trying to push an agenda through Congress or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I cannot believe that you wrote that shit. Like a simple Google search would tell me that you're a retard. So,
but people follow them. People follow them, and they take
do.
it. They take it as the gospel, man. That's the crazy thing about influencer culture. Fuck.
Yeah. Let me tell you this though. This is a huge change in topic, but I had that podcast we did several years ago. We talked about mental health and suicide and not killing yourself. I can't even tell you how many people reached out to me like over the years and told me how much that episode impacted them. Yeah. That was, and that's something I'm so thankful for, like Security Halt and all these other pages that they're constantly telling people not to kill themselves, but then talking about what suicide actually is, because that helps people. And
I think we both intimately, like, I remember when you weren't doing good, and I certainly remember when I wasn't doing good, and that individual doesn't get put on a TV screen, doesn't get put on a movie or a Netflix show.
Right.
Mental health and suicide is always depicted as the disgruntled veteran is like addicted to alcohol or the doped out dude that just finally takes his life. And we almost romanticize it. And I'm going to tell you right now, every fucking man, whether you know it, whether he shows it, he's fucking struggled or is struggling right now. That's a thing. And I got to be careful because it blurs the conversation blurs the line with a lot of different things that intersect with it in today's weird, fucked up world. But to be a man means to carry a lot of burden, to carry a lot on your fucking shoulders. And we need to normalize and be able to say that, dude, if you can't talk to your wife, if you can't talk to your best fucking friend, you got to find somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be come on, reach out to any one of us, reach out to somebody, but you got to talk, man. You got to get that shit off your chest. You got to go find a resource because you're fucking needed. The guys that we're losing could be some of the biggest fucking champions for getting our country back on track because they've seen some shit, because they spent their entire adulthood probably deployed. A lot of their youth was given up to the military, and we're losing those leaders. We're losing the individuals. Like just this month alone, three fucking dudes decided that they had enough and they're checked out and they're not here anymore. Some of them were fathers. Some of them had amazing life stories that by and large will get forgotten. And that's a crime. That is one of the modern epidemics that we need to fucking rally around and fight and end. If you're listening and you're struggling, trust me, you're not alone. Right now, you are part of a brotherhood, and all of us have good days and bad days. And you might think that your day is worse than you could ever fucking imagine, but I am telling you, stay in this fucking fight.
Yeah.
We're not going to fucking make it out of this situation without you. That's a fucking thing. Like, if you wouldn't have checked out in a firefight, don't check out today.
Fact. Yeah.
Don't check out today. Stay a little longer. I'll be honest. QRF isn't coming, but there's enough guys to your left and right that we don't need a QRF. Just
the biggest thing is just making it through the night.
Yeah, dude, those night calls. How many have you gotten? I know I still get them, and that's the thing that
I dealt with one this last month actually, and talked to a guy off the ledge. But I tell people this is the thing. I tell people survive, whatever it takes to survive. I did some things that I'm not proud of, and that I look back on. I don't have regret, but like I'll just flat out tell you this was after divorce and just really bad times and everything else. But I played fast and loose on Tinder and got some things that I wouldn't do now. Not the man I am, but I did what I did to survive. I tell people, do what it takes to survive in the moment, because until that sun breaks through, you got to fight ahead of you. And there's, I've lost people through suicide. My older brother killed himself, and it was the worst moment of my life. And that's ultimately what saved me when I tried to do the same thing. But I'll tell people, like, hey, when people were like, well, why didn't he just reach out? He could have just talked to somebody. I'm like, because he didn't want to reach out. He wanted to kill himself.
Yeah.
He didn't want you to talk him out of it. At that point, it's his battle. But you have to know, as the person who's fighting through that this is temporary. This doesn't last forever. I don't care how long you've been in this particular fight. It will end. It will end. Don't check out on the firefight. Don't. And you and I have both experienced that pretty intimately.
Yeah, man. Everything dissipates, and that's a beautiful thing you brought up. If I look back in my life at the worst suffering, I was convinced that I'm never going to get what I want back. Everything's taken from me. Just complete pity, and really just focused on sorrow and all this pain, this misery. It's just going to be my constant. Fuck this. I'm done. And I look back now and I see everything that's come and everything that's followed. And yeah, a lot of bad days in between, but there's a lot of good. There's been a lot of great fucking days. And I'm not talking about monumental fucking wins. I'm talking about small victories, dude. Small. You fight for inches in Afghanistan and Iraq. You fight to get to the point where the battle shifts, where the fucking AWT comes on station, where fucking gunship comes on station. You're like, fuck yeah, dick them down. Fight for that.
Yeah.
Stick around for that moment. It's anybody that's been in combat, anybody who's been in those harrowing fucking moments of life and death where it's like, oh, fuck, like these motherfuckers got us pinned down. You didn't give up. You stayed fighting. So stay, man. Like, I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but I'm going to continue preaching it, man. Little groups of paratroopers. Find your 𝐂𝐓. Find your fucking 𝐂𝐓, dude.
Yes.
That shit will keep you alive. This whole thing started with a fucking 𝐂𝐓. Paul, Greg, and myself, we didn't know how to fucking survive. We were all fucking struggling. And what did? We all coalesced around meme jokes, fucking poop and cum jokes, and a few little tips of what was keeping us alive. And it fucking works. It fucking worked. Paul's thriving in his marriage. His kids are doing great. Greg's fucking thriving. Single dad, fucking finished out his master's. Like, looking at all the ways when this piece of shit show started fucking few years back from season 1 where we know what the fuck we're doing, none of us checked out. And it was because we had an 𝐂𝐓. Yeah, I got help. I got treatment. I went to a lot of different fucking great organizations that helped me. But by and large, the thing that will keep you in the fight is your 𝐂𝐓. The two people you can text and talk to openly and honestly. Check in with each other. Give each other daily reminders of why you're still here. You already do it. You already send memes to each other. Just talk. And if your friend says, I'm good, don't give up. Because that motherfucker's struggling.
Yeah.
Ask.
True.
Just fucking keep digging down and keep asking, like, no, dude, like, let's make some time. Watch a movie through Discord. Play a video game. Just don't give up on an individual. When you give up, sadly, that's when things can turn for the worst.
Ladies, and I'll tell you, women have the hardest time understanding this, but if your guy talks to you like this, that's great. Don't judge him. Dear God, don't judge him. Do not judge him. I'm telling you, he'll never talk to you again. Do not judge him. But if he doesn't talk to you, don't take offense to it, because you are not somebody, I guess, that can hear that truth and that honesty the way he needs to say it. And he's got to go find his 𝐂𝐓. He's got to go find those dudes who understand what that is he's fighting. You know, I always thought about this too, because we didn't understand why Vietnam vets or World War II vets wouldn't talk about what they experienced.
Yeah.
Because you haven't fucking earned it.
Yeah.
You haven't earned it. Why would I talk to you about the shit I was in the jungles, or what I was doing, or, you know, running a guy through with a bayonet, or whatever kind of crazy stuff I was doing in combat, when there's no context that you would ever understand me, and you haven't earned it. I need to talk to another dude who is in that fight. And that's why these guys would come together at the VFW and everything, because this is the way that they could connect to people who knew that fight. And that's what you have to find. You have to find dudes who have experienced what you experienced, because otherwise you're like, I'm not going to share this with you. You haven't earned it.
Yeah.
You can't possibly understand what it is that I'm dealing with in my head. So.
Absolutely, man. And the other thing is, guys need to stop, guys and gals, stop minimizing your own journey. Like, one thing that I realized there's a lot of focus on special operations, Rangers, Navy SEALs, AFSOC dudes. They're great, dude. Amazing individuals. And some of those stories are grand and fucking phenomenal stories of courage and commitment, self-sacrifice. But by and large, that's not the lived experience of every GWOT veteran.
Right.
And you can't sit there and compare what you went through to those guys. Don't.
I'm a self-deprecating pogue. I love to clown on myself. It's the best. You know, I'll tell people, I did some cool things over the years, but I'm an intel weenie, man. Like I don't tell you, I'm a pogue. So,
bro, you were a vital aspect, vital member of our fucking organization. I don't want to hear that. Everybody has a seat at the fucking table.
The fight doesn't continue if bullets and beans don't move. I'm important. I was in supply. Those grunts couldn't have done their job without me.
Except for
not get carried away, but you are important.
I hope the guy we just walked off and S1 kid off the ledge. I matter? Yes, Jimmy. You matter too. You sure? Yes. Update my purse stat. Yes, sir.
Right. Do me a favor and keep your office open for more than half an hour a day, and then we'll have a conversation. But
you piece of shit. Always on lunch break.
When I show up to battalion and I need to get some paperwork done and your sign says closed for training, somebody's going to die. It's not going to be me. I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Oh my God. 1st Battalion, you were the absolute fucking worst from 2012 to 2014. After that, you had some good individuals that came in there. Shout out to Navia. You were fucking G. Fuck. So many horrible S1 dudes. But there's some good ones. There are some good ones. Because they deployed too. They came. I remember a few of them were fucking awesome to have around for some of our J sets. So sorry if I make funny on the memes. It's easy content, guys. It's too fucking easy. I gotta be able to do some memes.
Right. Dude, my last assignment, I was at where was I at? I was at the 13th ESC at Fort Hood, and I remember we were under HHBN or something, and the S1 there. I won't lie, I was super jacked about this S1 because they had a sergeant first class in there, and dude, she was like not toxic and demoralizing. I don't want that to come across like that, but she was like locked in, and she was going around hemming dudes up if shit was jacked up, and like, no, we stay open. We stay open. We support the soldier. And I was like, God, dude, this chick is awesome, man. Good for you, Sarn. That's the way it should be, because my 20 years has been the complete opposite of that.
Dude,
anyway.
We had some really good ones in 1st Battalion, 7th Group. Again, like, fuck, I will champion that woman, Navia. You saved my ass. So when I became a warrant officer, that like anything else, like all of my old stuff just out into the fucking ether.
Dude,
it had no record of me being a citizen. So like, this is the irony of it. Another Hispanic warrant officer is processing me in. He's like, "Hey man, how'd you make it in the Army? You don't have citizenship." I'm like, "The fuck you mean I don't have citizenship? I speak better English than you, motherfucker." I can say that because he was brown too. I don't want to hear shit in the comments. But this motherfucker was calling like fucking ICE on my ass. Like, he's like, "There's no paperwork that says you're American, fool." I was like, "What the fuck do you mean, bro?" I was like, "Yeah, for reals, SA, like there's no paperwork here." I had to like get a lawyer. And I had to like, I called up my fucking S1. Navia was like, "Dude, I on it. I got you." Fucking hooked it up, found my old shit that proved I was a citizen. I'm like, "I have a U.S. passport, dog. I have a red passport too." This motherfucker was trying to get me fucking processed out. Under this current administration, I probably would have been sent out of country.
Yeah. You're on a bus with ICE, bro.
I've been working with fucking Los Zetas. All right, Battle Drill 1 Alpha, gather around.
Hey, you wouldn't be the first 7th Group guy. Sure,
and that's why I made that joke. Oh man, our sordid past. Yikes.
Yes.
That's the one and only positive thing I'll ever say about you, S1. So enjoy it, because as of 12 p.m. today, the memes will flow again. I'll find another one. My inbox is always fucking super salty with S1 jokes. Fuck you. You couldn't do your job without me. I'm like, well, I'm not in it anymore, so nah, I can't. Dude. yeah, man. What do you what's on the docket these days, man? You got a new podcast. You got you have some success in life. Multiple things. You were juggling a lot. Yeah.
I have lots of irons in the fire, and I don't know if any of them are going to be productive, but it's a good path and doing good things. And yeah, I'm just focused on the grind of where I'm at with directing a movement. That's one of the organizations I'm a part of is pushing that movement. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but the podcast had a really, really great episode yesterday where I interviewed this dude who dropped huge dimes on Marxism in public libraries and the American Library Association. Dude, we're not fighting, Spetsnaz and commandos and Green Berets and all these special ops dudes. We're fighting nerds wearing glasses and shit who are taking over our country and who are transing our kids up and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, the fight is not with, the guy who's been eating trenbolone sandwiches and can tear up the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's academia. And so, like, this is where the fight is now. And anyways, great episode there. But other than that, dude, I got my daughter coming out this week and be with me for 6 months.
Hell yeah.
And I've got season passes for all the Disney parks and water parks. So we're gonna tear it up, man. I'm pumped.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, this has been a fucking blast. This is a very much needed bro hang. If people want to check out your stuff, where can they go?
You can go to Our Country, Our Choice on YouTube. I don't post a lot of the podcasts on YouTube because they're just, dude, we get
you'll be demonetized. You'll be fucking bad.
Oh, we're already on 2 strikes right now. Another one we're fucked. So yeah, YouTube's out, but I just posted the other one to Rumble. You can go to my Twitter page, which is Samasaur. Here's the irony of that. Let me tell you about Samasaur really quick. So I created that page just so Mill Twitter would have a place to shit on me once the investigation went public. And I just was clowning around and I was like, nobody grabbed Samasaur. That's gold. Like, that's mine. I didn't realize that my page was going to blow up. And, I got like 200,000 followers now. And so I'm kind of stuck with Samasaur. He's a little gay, but that's all right. I'm rocking it. It's mine now. I am Samasaur. So go check it out. But I just posted the newest podcast to there. And, but yeah, that's where you can find me. So
any ideas on Terminal CWO? Are we going to shelve it someday, or is it going to thrive, transition over? What are your thoughts on it?
Dude, the worst thing ever was going on the Sean Ryan show and picking up all those followers on Terminal CWO. Because now I'm just overrun by boomer retards who don't understand memes and satire. Holy shit, dude. The comments are brutal. I can't take it. They're so dumb. And they don't understand, like,
oh, I know, dude.
Like, I had like 56,000 followers that I earned, that got there the right way. And now I have 189,000 followers. And I'm like, dear God, these comments I don't even want to continue doing this. So I don't know. Right now it goes, and sometimes I post a meme here and there or a thing here and there. I'm actually working on one investigation right now. It's been a long time, but I'm working on a command team. Crazy stuff, but they were relieved of command, the commander, the first sergeant, platoon sergeant, and the investigating officer initially said there were no findings and then came back a month later and amended it to say there was findings. Sounds like there's some sketchy shit with that. But then, like, the entire, I will say company, I won't say what it really is. The entire company came together and wanted to submit sworn statements on their behalf, like defending them. And the brigade commander refused to accept them. It's a super fucked up investigation. The whole thing, like, I've interviewed multiple people, and this sounds exactly like, IG was weaponized against these folks. It's a mess. So I'm working on that right now, and it's these are a very exhaustive investigations. That's why I don't do them anymore. But I took this one because the person was there. Yeah, they seem nice. So.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing now. But we'll see where the road goes.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm focused on saving America, dude.
I'm in. That's the same that's along the same lines of effort. I'm trying to keep every veteran that I can get a hold of and back in the fight, because guess what? Up until there was a time frame where, if you looked at our government, there was a lot of service members, And somewhere along the lines, that changed. And we didn't have a lot of service member representatives in our local community or in our federal government. And that's fucking weird to me. It seemed like a concerted effort.
Or you get cock knobs like Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Jeez.
More on that cockswaddle later on. Fucking, I got friends that are friends with him, and like I respect them. Those individuals are great. But Dan, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. 90% of my feelings is that this thing is hiding. No, I'm not gonna go. That'll ban me. That'll ban me. I was going to say that it was a hole for penetration, and alluding to the fact that he sells out his eye hole for pleasuring government officials. It's a crude joke, but that's what I do. I described it to you. It doesn't have the same landing to it as it would have if you let me go with it. But I pulled back. But needless to say, I think there's a meme out there of Dan Crenshaw using his eye at a glory hole. I mean,
there's definitely a meme out there. I've seen plenty of them. Yeah.
Anywho, dude, it's a pleasure having you on the show, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for just chatting. And bro, like I said, we go way back. Some of the darkest moments of my life, but some of the best are tied into our time in Windsor, Colorado. And
yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm glad. Crazy. I'm glad that I have you and I have Philip still in my life, because you're some of the best individuals, man. Both of you in your own unique and wonderful ways. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate everything that you're doing for the veteran community and for our larger American audience. So
likewise,
thank you for being here, man.
Love you, brother.
Love you.
Good stuff.
Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to talk to Sam a little bit before I have to jump on another show, but I don't want to record that. That's going to be an intimate thing. But I will let you do this. Go ahead and pause. Go to the episode description. Click all those links. If you're not following Sam, what the fuck is wrong with you? Follow him on Terminal CWO. Follow him on Samus on X. And please do us a favor. Hit that little like, share, and subscribe button. Just, I'll let you do it. I won't look. Let you have some privacy while you do that. Leave us a comment. Say something nice. Like, Denny's fucking awesome. Or I like his new shirt from Born Primitive. They're not a sponsor, but who knows? Maybe someday. Do me a favor and just be good to each other. Be kind. Be understanding. And if you're a veteran out there dealing with some heavy shit, stay in the fight. Get the fucking gun back up. And we'll be there. Reach out. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Till then, take care.